Hello friends and welcome to the Southern Mountain Kitchen. Today we're going to make a spicy tuna salad dip. So what you see on my counter is what we're going to use to make this. There's really not a lot of ingredients. A bunch of what's going into this is spices. And then you just have 3 cans of tuna, some relish, you have some mayonnaise, eggs, some minced garlic, and then some green onions. Now, if you don't want this to be so spicy, you can cut back on the spicy ingredients. Like there is some spicy mustard here, there is some sriracha sauce here, and within the seasoning themselves there's actually some cayenne pepper and things like that. If you want it to be less spicy, cut back, just cut it in half on those things, and this won't be as spicy of a salad or dip or whatever you want to use this for, because this has a multi-purpose. You could put this on crackers as like you're using it as a dip. You can actually put this on a sandwich. You can actually just put this on lettuce and serve it as a salad by itself. So this is kind of a multi-purpose thing that we're making, and the best thing is you make a lot of this, you can actually use it for several different things. So we're going to start off by cooking 3 eggs. We want these hard boiled, and we're going to put them in the water and let them boil for at least 12 minutes cook time, because we want these hard inside so that way when we go to use them they're more solid. We don't want it to be runny or mushy or whatever. We want this an actual solid hard-boiled egg. So we're going to do the 12 minutes on that, and then after they're done we're going to take them, get rid of the hot water, rinse them in cool water, and actually put some really cold water onto them so that way it's easier to get the shells off. And then we're going to cut up the eggs, and basically just cut across the eggs a little bit and then slice through them to where you've got smaller hunks of egg. We don't really want huge hunks of egg, but you know, it's really not that hard to cut it up smaller. And then we're going to take our 3 green onions and we're going to actually trim off anything that needs to be removed from them, and then cut them into smaller pieces. And we're talking maybe like 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch is all we want lengthwise of this, because we want hunks of onion but we don't want a lot. Now if you don't like green onions, you could just use regular onion in this. You don't have to do the green onions. I decided to do it just because I wanted something a little bit different. I wanted the green onion. So, or you can even do a mix of both if you wanted to, and just cut down the number of green onions and then put a little regular onion with it, and that way it really isn't that big a deal. But it's your choice of what way you like to have it. So if you like the green onions, go for it. Otherwise, swap it out. And we have 3 cans of tuna here. Now you're going to need to drain your tuna. We don't want that water that's in there. We want that completely gone. So go ahead and cut these open, drain out your water, and then we're going to move these into a large bowl. And we're just going to go ahead and empty all 3 of them in at once. So just go ahead and add them as you get them out of that. Make sure you don't leave any of that tuna left behind. And then as we get these all in there, we're going to go ahead and take something like a fork or whatever, which is what I'm using, to break the tuna up. We don't want really huge hunks of tuna in this, because we really want to make sure that we get it to a point to where there are no huge hard pieces of this, because you really want to kind of shred it up a bit. And it's easy enough to shred up because this stuff falls apart pretty easily as it is. But if you have something else you want to use to break it up, go for it. I use a fork. There's no right or wrong about this. Just go ahead and break it up however you do, and make sure that you get through all of it. So just probably for about a minute, go ahead and work your way through the tuna just to make sure that there is no large hunks of it in here. And once we get this part done, we're going to start adding the other ingredients to this. And then as we keep mixing this up, I'm going to do it in stages to add a little bit to it at a time, and that way once it's all in there you get it all mixed. But we want to take our time to make sure the seasoning is going properly and get mixed through the tuna before a lot of other things hit the actual bowl. So go ahead and keep doing this until you keep getting everything broken up, because as you can see, mine is really breaking up really well. So it's really not hard to break open tuna though. But just keep mixing it until you feel like yours is completely shredded up. And then we're going to add some seasoning to this. So when we start with this, we're going to actually go for some cayenne pepper and some black pepper first, which we're adding 1 teaspoon of each. And next we're adding in 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. Once that's in, we're going to add 1.5 tablespoons of minced garlic, then 1 tablespoon of honey Dijon mustard, and then after that we're adding 1 tablespoon of sriracha sauce. And once we get this in, we're going to mix this up before we add anything else to it, because we want to go ahead and get these seasonings mixed throughout the tuna before we add anything like the added ingredients or mayo or anything like that. We just want to get it all mixed through. So just go ahead, take a spatula or whatever, mix it till you see that these things are breaking up and going through all of the tuna, so that we've got an even distribution of it. We don't want it all just kind of clumping in one place. So we're just going to keep mixing until we get this completely through, and then we're going to come back and add some more to this. So as you can see, it's completely mixed through at this point, and we're going to add about 1/4 cup of sweet pickle relish. And then once that is into it, we're going to actually add in some more ingredients. We're going to mix this up a little bit, and then we're going to add in our eggs and our onions to it once the pickle is kind of mixed through the tuna. So go ahead and turn that over a couple times just to get it mixed through, so that way there's a good distribution of it. And we're going to bring in the stuff we chopped up earlier and just pour it right on top of it. And then as we get this completely in here, we're really not going to have to add much more to this to get it to what we want it to be. So that's the best part of this, because we've got it here. Everything is in here except for our mayo at this point. So mix it up again just to distribute the egg and everything through, and make sure everything is kind of mixed into it. And the best thing about this is, like, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on here, but they all add together to make such a great taste. And that's the best part of it, because it's not going to be bland. And then we're going to add like 4 heaping tablespoons of mayo to this. And that should be just enough to mix this up and give it a good consistency. Now, when you're mixing it up, if yours is a little dry, you can add a little more mayo to it. Just remember, if you add too much in the beginning, you can't subtract the mayo, but better to add too little and add a little later to make it to where you want it to be. And we're just going to go ahead and keep mixing this completely through until all that mayo is worked into this. Now, keep in mind, when this is done, we want to refrigerate this. We don't want this just going straight out to be used. We want to have a little chill going on, so it has time for all those flavors to like work together, but also for a chance for it to get cold, because it's going to make it a little bit stiffer, a little bit better if you're going to spread it on crackers or do whatever. But like I said, there's so many things you could do with this. I mean, because you could eat this just on a sandwich or whatever you wanted to, or you could actually just make a tuna salad on lettuce, and that is a really great thing. But important thing is to put this in the fridge, I'd say for at least an hour or more, to make sure that everything's had a time to sit before you use it. This has such a killer taste, but as I said, you can dial back the spices. It is a little on the spicy side, but it has such a great taste being spicy. And it's just one of those things that it's a pleasure to eat, and it's really great if you want to serve this, even if you were giving it to people on a cracker for like an appetizer or anything like at a party or something like that. And when mine was done, it looked something like this, and I just had mine with some crackers, and it really was something great to eat. So I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. And if you get a chance, check out the Southern Mountain Kitchen website, where you can get a free recipe, check out the cookbooks available from the Southern Mountain Kitchen, and if you'd like to, you could order a cookbook at a discounted price, cheaper than Amazon, with shipping that is also cheaper than Amazon. So if you get a chance, check it out, and I hope you have a great day.